Good morning, Yonkers. It's Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, AMS and its master plan. Good morning, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, AMS gets its master plan adopted or approved 7-0 by the City Council at the recent Tuesday night meeting. What did the council members have to say in regards to a project that many residents are opposing? The Teutonia. Good morning. Good morning, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Coming on very late tonight, or very early, I should say, because tomorrow I probably won't be on. I'm going to be out there hustling it and getting these petition signatures. So I'll probably come home exhausted. So I want to get this out. If you're not up tonight this late, I get it. I understand. But I will replay it tomorrow morning for those who missed it. I want to go over tonight's or yesterday, Tuesday night's meeting in regards to the Teutonia, the AMS master plan. AMS are the developers that are developing Chicken Island. They're developing a huge building on Buena Vista, which many people came out last week to a meeting, or maybe 2 weeks ago, in opposition because of its size. It's going to be huge, 900 units, luxury units, and it's going to block the sun, block views, and many people are opposing it. And it's being developed in such a small area on Buena Vista. And if you're not familiar with that street, that's very narrow, 2-lane street, and it heads down to the post office and the pier. And there's a lot of traffic there. There's also a parking garage directly across the street from it. And just a few hundred yards directly in front of it, they are already building 44 Hudson Terrace, a 25-story building that also had some trouble getting approved by the Zoning Board of Appeal. So they had to replace some individuals in order to get it done. And that's just what they did. And so that one's going up also. And that's going to be over 237 luxury units. So I want to let you hear the meeting and hear what our city council members had to say in regards to this huge development.
To facilitate a transit-oriented mixed-use development at 3 project sites: Teutonia Hall site, Chicken Island site, and the North Broadway site, to be located on real property known as 41 Buena Vista Avenue and designated on City of Yonkers tax map as Section 1, Block 485, Lot 1, Section 1, Block 475, Lot 51, respectively, and the property 7 Overlook
Terrace. I don't know why I have trouble with the city council page. I tried to load it up. I don't know if they do anything on YouTube, but anyway, so I'll go over what they said. Hopefully we'll get some it going there. Basically, they approved it 7-0. They adopted it 7-0. And you know, people were opposing this. A lot of people are just complaining about the overdevelopment. They're building just a lot of buildings, and they're going higher and higher, right? And that's a problem. On Chicken Island, they're going to build about 4 to 5 luxury developments there. They're going to be mixed use. So they're going to have some storefronts, and then they're going to have residentials at the top. And that's going to be a 10-year plan, a 10-year plan. And so some of the people express some concerns about it, but not too much. You know, they just, said something about the traffic, and they just want to make sure that, the residents are made aware of how, traffic is going to flow. Because again, they're going to be impacting a main corridor, Nepperhan Avenue, coming into the downtown area. It's already crazy. Getting from Sawmill to City Hall is going to take you 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon to get out. So imagine when they start to develop those buildings on Chicken Island over there, how much traffic that's going to cause with all the construction vehicles. I'm sure they're going to block a lane or two, and people are just going to be even, later to work if you don't leave earlier, right? You're going to be in line longer. You're going to see that stretched all the way back from City Hall to the Sawmill. And that's a 10-year plan. So they're going to do Chicken Island, 4 to 5 luxury buildings there. Then on North Broadway, and actually North Broadway and Locust and Overlook Terrace, which is off Locust Avenue, Locust Street or whatever. They're going to put a huge development, which is going to actually take 2 blocks. It's going to be, the back of it will be on Locust, and the front will be on North Broadway. The entrance there, just by I'm not sure if you guys know about Hook and Reel. Is it Hook and Reel over there or something? Is a little seafood spot, but if you drive up a little bit there, just before you're able to turn to go onto Warburton, that's where the front of it is going to be, which is a small space there too. And that's going to be a lot of units. I'm not sure exactly how many that's going to be, but it's going to be a lot. So you have 4 to 5 there, the huge Teutonia with 900 units, and then that huge development's going to go on North Broadway, Overlook Terrace, and Locust Hill. And so Shanae Williams, who says, I represent District 1. I wish I could play her thing. She says, I'm, excited about it. I'm glad to see that there's finally developments, going up. Things are being beautified. She did make mention of, the affordability and the fact that people are getting, pushed out. But she said that, for the most part, it's good to see this happening, and they're ready to see developments go up. Lakeisha, the city council president, she was the one that spoke most about people getting pushed out, people getting priced out. She, made it a point to say that she spoke with AMS, Michael Mitnick, one of the owners of AMS, and said that in order to get this done, that she needed to know that the community, the people that live here, the residents, were going to benefit some way. She said that is the only way that she was going to, be, supporting this, which she already did because she passed it. She already adopted it before the meeting. So that's not how you negotiate. You're supposed to have the meeting first, then you vote. But she said that they made a promise and they're going to do something for the community. She's thinking maybe another community center, which is great. We need places for the kids, and maybe a park or something like that. But that's it. That's all she really mentioned specifically on how the community will benefit. But the community needs housing. They need affordable housing. The community needs improved schools. Why can't they do anything for the schools? Why can't they build one of the new schools or give us some money to build one of the new schools? Why is it just another community center, which we need as well? I'm sure we could use that, but there's so many other things that we need. She's mentioned that they are maybe considering building another community center like the Dayspring up on Elm Street. And that's great. I guess it's great. I don't want to knock something like that because that's for kids. But I'm just saying, if you have an opportunity to negotiate with these individuals who are investing billions of dollars into these projects, so they have the money, let's really bang them, at their pockets. Let's get something. Let's get some, a school, a brand new state-of-the-art school. Let's get them to build the second school that we need, that the mayor said we just don't have the money for. Why can't we do that? Why can't we negotiate something, that really will benefit, the community, all students, all the kids here in Yonkers. I want to show you some of the projects here so you can see what they're going to look like. Really quick, the Teutonia project, on the applicant proposes to construct a transient-oriented, and I want to show this here, mixed-use project with approximately 906 multifamily residentials. 906 currently anticipated. Vehicular access to the Teutonia site would be provided from 2 driveways along Buena Vista Avenue. The Teutonia project will include 2 residential towers above a 6-story, 66-foot tall podium and having a maximum building height of 435 feet. And this is important information to the folks who live over there at Water Grant Street. I know you guys were very upset. Very upset. I don't see Yonkers City Council on channel on YT. Yeah, I don't know why they don't have it on YouTube or anywhere else. It's only on Facebook, and for whatever reason, it never plays. I can't get it to play all the way. But so yeah, so the folks on Water Grant Street, there you go. I'll post this up here. You can read all the specs, but it's going to be a very tall building, 66 feet tall podium and having a maximum building height of 435 feet. Wow. The first phase would include the construction of approximately 510 residential units in the northern tower, as well as approximately 5,000 square feet of ground floor retail and approximately 556 parking spaces within the northern portion of the podium. The second phase would include 396 residential units in the southern tower, as well as another 5,000 square feet of ground floor retail and parking. And they're going to, the unit mix of the Teutonia project is currently anticipated to include approximately 227 studio units, 272 one-bedroom units, 316 two-bedroom units. Hey, look, and 91 three-bedrooms. So they're actually adding 3 bedrooms. And I'm sure the 3 bedrooms are the ones they're going to want to reserve for the 5% affordable units that they have to set. They're going to be setting aside. Only 5% is going to be a total of 45. So it's actually less than 5%. And so they, one of the things that many people have been saying, I've been saying this also, is that it doesn't seem like they want families, right? They've been building mostly studio 1 and 2 bedroom developments. So I'm surprised that this one has 3 bedrooms, although it's only 91, but at least it has some 3 bedrooms, right? There are families here in the city of Yonkers. So 6 stories, 66 feet, huh? Now I'll read that again. 66 feet from the podium. There's going to be a podium. I'll read it again. Vehicular access. Yeah, it says the Teutonia project will include 2 residential towers above a 6-story, and then 66 feet tall podium and having a maximum so you're gonna have the retail space at the bottom, right? And so that's gonna be, I believe, 6-story, maybe. I don't know, maybe not 66. I don't know. I'll show you a picture to see, so you can see what it's gonna look like. Really quick, the Chicken Island site. All right, let's talk about that. Is approximately 5.25 acres and consists of 2 tax lots, right? I'll talk about the project. Applicant proposes to develop a 6-building transient. 6-building. I was saying 4 to 5. It's actually 6-building transient oriented. They love this transient oriented. What does that mean? Transient oriented. Transit oriented. I'm sorry, not transient. Transient. Transit oriented, right? It's all about people just getting on public transportation, piling them up, condensing everyone in a small space so they can utilize public transportation. And it's going to, they expect people to just go to and from work in the city, come back to work. Come back home here to Yonkers to sleep. So that's what it's all about. That's what they're doing in Ludlow also, transit-oriented developments. Mixed-use developments on the Chicken Island site. The Chicken Island project would include approximately 2,000 multi-family residential units, including 240 affordable units, approximately 70,000 square feet of street-level retail space, approximately 17,000 square feet of office space, and approximately 2,200 parking spaces. Wow. So, 17,000 square feet of office space. Now, AMS owns 86 Main Street. That's right across from the trolley barn. That has a lot of office space that is empty. And if you guys may remember 47 or 470 Neperhan Avenue, when they first developed those, they were supposed to be this business district, and they were anticipating people were going to be renting out office space there, but no one did. And so that got sold off to another developer, which is who currently owns it now, with the help of the city, of course. And so now you have the YIDA there. You have even the DEA has offices there. You have fire department, the firefighters, they do stuff there, right? So that's pretty much it. But for the most part, that building is empty. It's really empty. So are people going to be coming here to rent office space in Chicken Island, right? I don't know. And 70,000 square feet of street level retail space, what do they plan on bringing in What kind of businesses? And how will they do? So they're anticipating on bringing in a lot of people here, folks. This 70,000 square feet of street level retail space, and this is just in Chicken Island. For, it's not Teutonia. That's going to have also retail. It's going to serve who? 2,200 parking spaces. Who is that going to serve? So they're planning on bringing a lot of people in here. The Chicken Island project is anticipated to be built in 5 phases. The first phase would include approximately 650 residential units, 39,000 square feet of retail, and 17,000 square feet of office space. Approximately 650 parking spaces would be constructed, and approximately 200 spaces in the existing surface lot would be utilized. The second phase would include approximately 425 residential units, along with 10,000 square feet of retail space, as well as additional structured parking. This phase would also utilize approximately 80 spaces in the existing surface. The third phase will include 425 dwelling units and approximately 10,000 square feet of retail space, as well as more parking. This phase would also remove a temporary 4,000 square feet retail space constructed in the first phase. So they're going to have a temporary retail space because this is going to be a 10-year project, right? So they have to get some money coming in. So I would imagine they're going to have, parts of it opened up. And so they're building a temporary 4,000 square feet of retail space in the first phase just to get some, business going there as they continue on. So 10 years of this, folks, 10 years. This is what I want you to think about. 10 years. The fourth phase would include 250 dwelling units and approximately another 10,000 square feet of retail space. The fifth phase of the Chicken Island project would include approximately 250 dwelling units and 5,000 square feet of retail space, as well as additional structured parking. When complete, the Chicken Island project residential units, which are anticipated to be rental units, would include approximately 500 studios, 597 one-bedroom units, 702 two-bedroom units, and 201 three-bedroom units. So Teutonia, is adding some 3-bedrooms. Several police units have offices at Force. Oh, yes, yeah, you're right. Although I'm told they may be moving to Midland Avenue area soon. And, speaking about the police and even fire, when you have these tall buildings going up, right, these huge developments, I would imagine that they're going to have to add more firemen. They're going to have to add more police as you get more people coming in. But they're going to also have to train them to, fight fires in these tall buildings. I mean, I know we have some buildings here, but as we, as they develop more, there's going to be some real need for training and stuff, maybe, when you have to, what do you call that? Go down the rope on the side of the building to rescue someone. Trains, buses, and scooters. No cars is their long-term plan. Absolutely. A lot of people won't get that. They'll think you're crazy, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Long-term plans for their smart cities. Insurance and registration for bikeless is around the corner. Bank on it. I agree, and that's their plan. That's the UN plan. Agenda 2030. They want to eliminate as much as possible automobiles and get people to mostly use public transportation, scooters. That's why they're eliminating the sale of gas-powered cars after a certain, certain year that comes. I believe is 2025 maybe, or 2030. But you won't be able to buy gas-powered cars. And so ultimately, what that's going to do is going to eliminate a lot of cars. Right. So that's going to just in itself reduce the amount of cars on the roads. And ultimately, some people may just, I live in this transit oriented district or mixed use development. I can just hop on a train. Why bother buying another car? And so that's the goal. You're going to have smart cities. A lot of the cameras that are going up, as you know, that they're probably giving you a ticket. Those cameras are being paid for by the Department of Homeland Security. If you go on the Yonkers website and if you search, you can see a lot of the grant money that has been given to the city of Yonkers by the Department of Homeland Security. They're giving them money at grant after grant. And that's to put up those surveillance cameras that they're putting up all over the city. They have facial recognition software. They're also putting up the traffic cameras that will recognize plates. They will track your plates instantly. And so that also has to do with 5G, right? It makes the you're transferring of information instantly. So that's what they're doing. Those are smart cities. And if you're more interested in that, you can check out the Agenda 2030, United Nations Agenda 2030, also the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset, and look up smart cities, and you'll see exactly what that's all about. So we're changing, folks. They're definitely trying to change our society. And so now the third one is the North Broadway site, the North Broadway project. Applicant proposes to construct a transit-oriented mixed-use project, which approximately 650 residential units, including approximately 78 affordable units out of 650, approximately 17,000 square feet of retail space. So you have more retail space there. 21,000 square feet of office space, more office space, and approximately 750 parking spaces. So, again, they're anticipating on a lot of people coming into the city of Yonkers, a lot of people. The North Broadway project would include two 23-story towers, each approximately 300 feet in height, a parking structure and commercial and retail buildings stepping down to existing topography from Overlook Terrace and providing a pedestrian-friendly connection to North Broadway. So again, from Overlook Terrace to North Broadway, and then you can walk over to Locust Hill. And then it talks about the lots. The existing multifamily buildings located on these certain lots will be retained with the North Broadway project, while the remaining structures on North Broadway site would be removed. So they're going to be doing a lot of work also there on North Broadway, just at the beginning there, not too, very close to the square. So think about this, all this traffic. You have the movie studios going up, right? That's a whole nother developer. That's Joe Cotter, and that's On Point, 3 Point something, Greenpoint, the construction developers with Lionsgate. They're going to be 22 studios when they're done. 22 movie studios when they're done, folks, aside from these developments here. And then you have AMS, the big guys when it comes to the residential developments. They're doing most of the development. They're spending the big bucks. Then you have Extel, who's doing the $500 million project over there next to the Avalon, where the New York City the MTA bus depot was formerly located. They're building 7 luxury development buildings there. And then you have Ginsburg over down at Ludlow Park. They're building 2 towers there, although they said they may not be able to build a second one due to some issues with the ground there, the soil beneath the second tower. So you have a lot of stuff coming into the city of Yonkers. So it's going to be crowded. It's going to be crowded. The North Broadway project will have rental units, 162 studio units, 195 one-bedrooms, 228 two-bedrooms, and 65 three-bedroom units. So proposed rezoning. So they're going to rezone it. And that's something that they talked about also. They're rezoning a lot of areas here in the city of Yonkers. They're changing them to this DMX zoning, which is density mixed use. So they can do these transit-oriented developments, these mixed-use developments, and they can even go higher, right? They're changing all the zoning laws to go higher than they had told residents previously. It's just like with the term limit thing, right? So I'll put this up if you want to see it, and you can read more of the details there. The Teutonia is a $181 million project. The YIDA is involved. That means that they're getting tax breaks. They're getting, tax breaks on the mortgage recording tax, sales and use tax, and property tax, which is the big one. That's where they get most of the tax breaks, on the property tax. And so what they get are pilots, payment in lieu of taxes. Instead of paying what your obligation, your normal tax obligation, you agree to a set number and you pay that for a set amount of years, about 10, 15 years. So that cheats the city of Yonkers of millions of dollars in tax revenue. So, you have to think these buildings are putting more of a strain on our infrastructure, which needs a lot of work. Our first responders. We're going to have to hire more cops. We're going to have to hire more firemen. We're going to have to train them to do rescues and put out fires in these huge buildings that they have not had before here in the city of Yonkers. That's going to cost money. So the city's going to have added expenses, yet they are going to be missing out on millions and millions of dollars in tax revenue because of these pilots. And it could be, okay if they actually did what they're supposed to do for receiving those pilots, which is provide jobs to those in the local area. Yonkers, at least Westchester. Because it's the Yonkers idea that's given the tax breaks. So it's the workforce from Yonkers that should be hired, but they're not. They're hiring contractors from out of state, as we know, right? But they're still getting the tax breaks. So we're just getting cheated all around here, folks. And that money that we don't get, that property tax, because again, most of the tax breaks come from the property taxes. That's money that goes to schools and other, city, things that impact us, like roads and all that other stuff, right? To improve that stuff, the infrastructure, our education, law enforcement and all that, firefighters, our DPW crews. And these guys are getting all these savings. And so, that's important. That impacts our economy. So again, so here they have it, it's not even updated. Teutonia Buena Vista is a 181, and it's actually going to be more than that now because it's a bigger project. And is a $181 million investment and new construction of 412 units of residential complex. So initially they were going to have 412. Well, actually, initially we're going to have 340 something. Then it went to 412. Now they're at 906. They kept going higher and higher and higher. And that was one of the complaints that the folks over at Water Grant Street had. And again, they don't tell you these things until the last minute. So you don't have much, time to really build a strong opposition. And they don't care. They don't even look at your emails or your letters. Right. I was watching the meeting and one of the residents said, hey, I dropped off, or we dropped off some, letters in opposition. Did you look at them? And Tasha Diaz was chairing that meeting. And she said, oh, I did not check the emails. But the person said she dropped them off. She didn't say she emailed them. And you didn't even look at them and be prepared for the meeting. So they don't care because they're moving forward. Doesn't matter what opposition you try to mount, they're going to go forward anyway. And that's just how it is. Unless you change our government. It will include a fully automated garage, a hydroponic garden on the roof. What they're going to be growing up there, huh? It will offer high-end amenities, including a swimming pool, conference space, and fitness center. Awesome. There's a wind study also, because folks, this building is going to be parallel to the river, right? So I wanted to show something, and I'll try to get to it in a second, but I did put it on the page. It's the city charter, and it talks about the development of buildings and how they should be developed. And in the charter, I was reading where it said that the buildings should not block the view, right? They should run perpendicular in a way that gives you a view to the Hudson River. It gives you a line of view, right? But this building is going to be parallel to the Hudson River, which is going to block the view. And many of these buildings that are being built are being parallel to the Hudson River, blocking the views for many residents who once enjoyed these views. People who live on Riverdale, their view will be blocked. So this is Dear Peter, RWDI was retained to conduct a pedestrian wind study of the proposed AMS Yonkers downtown development, Teutonia. A report summarizing the report was issued August 12, 2021. For detail, the model used, opening. So yeah, I'll put that up. So see here, this is the building. Look at this big thing. This is huge. And this is, again, it's going to be blocking the view to the Hudson. And so I guess this is what they meant here when you were talking about the 66 feet or 600. This is the podium here. So it's going to be, it's going to be 6 stories up. And then you're going to have that podium here, and then they're going to go up from there. This is looking from west, you're looking from New Jersey, looking from east. It's a huge building. So buildings, several buildings. Wow. Freddie, Yonkers homeowners have been getting cheated for the last 70 years. The only difference between now and then is that today is done out in the open. Yeah, they blatantly do it. And I think just because so many people are unaware of what's actually happening, so many people, that are not necessarily with the Spanos or with the administration or involved, but that may kind of oppose what I'm saying, don't fully understand what's happening. So that's why they don't get it. They don't get why I'm saying some of these things. They think I'm just being negative. I'm not. I'm not just being negative. There's an impact that's going to be happening here to the residents, to the people that have been here forever, that grew up here, that have been here at least 20 or more years, or even 10 or more years, right? We're getting the short end of the stick. We're getting cheated. We're getting pushed out. We're getting overcrowded. Our roads are horrible and are worse and worse. And the construction is, not helping. Con Edison is devastating or destroying, I should say, not devastating, destroying roads, and they're not replacing them properly. Have you driven along Oakland Cemetery on Sawmill over there? It feels like your car has hydraulics when you're driving, from Palmer down to Ashburton. Con Edison ripped up that whole street, that section there. And then that's how they left it. That's not okay. Is that okay? I mean, we should demand that they repair any road that they rip up. Developers, Con Edison, they should be responsible for repairing that road and repairing it the right way. So when you're driving down Sawmill over there by Oakland Cemetery between Palmer and Ashburton, and that it's all crazy, that was Con Edison, and they left it like that. So, that's not okay. That's how we're having to deal with this. We're having to deal with the traffic, and it's not for us. We didn't ask for luxury developments. We just asked for Yonkers to improve, to restore some of these buildings, to renovate the area, to clean it up, to bring jobs, improve the schools, build new schools. That's what we wanted, right? Get rid of these slumlords. There's so many other things that you could have done to improve the city of Yonkers that did not require bringing 22 movie studios and a bunch of high-rise luxury residentials. So again, folks, as I mentioned to one person, you're not going to stop this by going to these public meetings. You're only going to stop this, or at least, slow it down. Let's take a real good look at this and let's see what's really going on here. Only way you're going to stop this or even get that much is if you vote for change. You need new leadership. We have leaders that are making poor decisions. This is part of city planning, right? When you're deciding where you're going to develop or where you're going to allow developers to build their projects, whether or not you're going to approve them, that has to do with city planning. Zoning board approves zoning changes so they can build these buildings. But city planning is also a big part of it. And recently, Janai Wallace was appointed to the planning board, I hear. Janai Wallace. Janai Wallace is known most for her nonprofit, the Matthew Wallace Foundation. She operates that. She's the founder and operator of the Matthew Wallace Foundation, which is very much tied to a lot of the elected officials, specifically Councilman John Rubo. She's a big Rubo fan, huge Rubo fan. She's been trying to get a job with Rubo for a very long time. Why is that important? Because Rubo is the chair of the real estate committee, and she's now appointed to the planning board. Well, what qualifications did Janai Wallace have to be on the planning board? So why was she appointed there? Same reason why they appointed that young kid, the son of that real estate investor who owns 470 Nepperhan, to the Zoning Board of Appeals after they removed two individuals who did not want to approve 44 Hudson Terrace. So they just got rid of them, replacing them with one of them with a 20-some-year-old son of a real estate investor whose occupation was listed as real estate agent. And he also worked in the mayor's office, making $20,000 a year. But was he really there? Or was that just some no-show job that he gave this guy's son, because that's how it goes here in Yonkers. And so, these are the things that we have to, ask about. We have to ask these questions. Why was Janai Wallace appointed to the planning board? Right? Because they don't care who's on the planning board. They just need people that are going to go along with what they tell them to do. Janai Wallace is not going to make any assessments and, make any decisions on her own or come up with anything on her own. Not at all. She doesn't have any qualifications, any experience in city planning. None at all. So as the mayor, you should be appointing people that have experience, that are going to go there and be an asset, add value, I should say. But not Janai Wallace. Come on. That's patronage appointment, right? And so that's what happens here. They will never fully occupy these buildings at current asking prices. No chances. A lot of people say that, they're not going to ever get these buildings fully occupied. They're saying that they're not fully occupied now. There's a huge, turnover rate. People taking advantage of deals that they give. One building will give you like 3 months free or something like that. So people move and then they'll, go to another one that's giving another deal to, just to try to utilize these deals that they're giving to get as many months free. That's what somebody was telling me. A couple of people actually were telling me about that. I don't know how true that is, but I know a lot of people were getting evicted. That's what I was being told by, somebody that would know. I don't want to say, sometimes I can't say even give any little thing because they could be identified, but they just, trust me, they would know. Massive amounts of people were being evicted from those apartments on the waterfront very recently. Why? Rubo's district just had another smash and grab over the weekend at the McLean Avenue 7-Eleven. Yes, I heard about that. I'm sure he has no issue keeping that place open 24 hours a day. Yeah. I mean, Rubo, he only cares what he cares about, right? And I wish I could play this video because he talks about, Rubo is one of the council members that spoke, and he talked about how the ethics board, the Yonkers Board of Ethics, which we don't know if it exists or not. We're trying to figure that out. But he's reminded the people at the meeting that they ruled that, it was there was nothing unethical about him voting on these, on the AMS projects, and also sitting as the chair of the real estate committee. And why would it be an issue? Because AMS is his landlord over at the Yonkers Brewing Company, the Trolley Barn building where the brewing company is located. They own it, AMS. But before they owned it, John Rubo, we hear, had been struggling a bit with the Yonkers Brewing Company because of the lack of business, and also the rent was too high. So when AMS bought it, according to reliable sources, very reliable sources, they amended his lease in his favor. And so that was a form of hookup, like a form of hey, we're going to do you this favor, Mr. Rubo. And so you got to look out for us. And so that is why Corazon Pineda Isaac appointed John Rubo to chair the real estate committee. He was a Republican at the time. She's a Democrat. There was a super majority, meaning the Democrats were, the majority. And so they had the control to appoint whoever they wanted. She appoints a Republican on one of the most important committees, John Rubo. That wasn't a good move, Corazon. That wasn't a good move at all. So why did she do that? When he was a Republican at that. She didn't even, he didn't wait till he became a Democrat, right? So, so basically Rubo wanted that spot because he wanted to help out his buddies, AMS. And so, I always wondered, is there some quid pro quo going on there? I mean, that is the same thing as the Mike Cater situation. In fact, that's even, a bigger deal. There's more money involved there. And yet Liam McLaughlin, who's very much, close to John Rubo, nothing. The city council, nothing. None of them have written a letter like they did against Mike Cater. That's so messed up of y'all, though. That was so messed up of y'all, man. All the Democrats who participating in writing that letter, that was messed up. That was, there was no loyalty shown there. They just threw a fellow Democrat under the bus, fed him to the wolves, basically. Liam McLaughlin, a Republican who already had an axe to grind with Mike Cater because Cater beat him for city council president. And he had the Spano machine behind him. But Cater had Zahi Jarris behind him at that time. And so Cater wins, beats Liam McLaughlin, but he's a Spano guy. They can't let him go out like that, so they give him a job as the Inspector General, the Yonkers Inspector General, which is perfect because then they can utilize him to launch investigations on people they don't like and keep him from launching investigations into them. Perfect. It's perfect, right? They had to get Brandon McGrath out of there because he was actually investigating some things. He, found out some things that were going on with Sam Borelli, right? And other things in the building department. But this was before Sam was in the building department. This was when he was at DPW giving his son's company and his company essentially city contracts. He got suspended for 2 weeks without pay. And how's Sam Borelli doing these days? Well, he became the commissioner of the building department because it all ties. It's all part of this whole, this whole scheme that's going on. You need the building department. You need the zoning board. You need the planning board. You have to have the council on board. And that's what they're doing. The real estate chair, the real estate committee has to be on board, right? Everybody's got to be on board. The developers have to make sure that their permits get passed and everything they need, the building department is passed. They have to make sure that their zoning, the zoning laws are changed. They have to make sure the planning board approves it. And then the council approves it. And that's how it happens. 7-0, 7-0. AMS gets what AMS wants. That's a fact. And one thing that these developers have in common, besides that they all have the elected officials in their pocket, they're all represented by Empire Strategic Planning, the lobbying firm owned by Nicholas Spano, the brother of Mayor Mike Spano. He also represents AMG. I'm sorry, AMG. And that's a car. I'm thinking of my car. MGM Grand, MGM Casino. He represents MGM Group. The ones that are coming to Empire City over there, they're most likely going to get their full gaming license. So it'll be, roulette tables and blackjack tables and poker tables and all that, concert venue, as well as a hotel. So that also will be bringing in massive amounts of people to the city of Yonkers. And Yonkers will essentially just be a transit-oriented city. People coming in and out, whether it's to gamble, come see, Britney Spears as she has her, residency at this MGM Grand concert venue, stay for the night at the hotel, or maybe you're working at the movie studios. You're in, Yonkers living for the next 2 years as you film some Netflix series or some new Lionsgate movie, and you're renting your apartment for 2 years, and then you're back to the West Coast or wherever you came from to work on another movie, because these people travel. So when they sold you on the idea that Lionsgate was going to give all the people in Yonkers jobs, they were BSing you, just like they're BSing you now. Just like the city council is BSing you, and I wish I could play it, city council president, because she goes, as I'm going to make sure that we get that Yonkers benefits and blah, 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 blah. But what's going on with Trevor Park? Remember, you said that you're going to make sure, as long as you're city council president, that Trevor Park is going to, be given back to the city after you approved and voted to sell it to the developers. I'm sorry, not Trevor Park, the marina. We're not getting that back. We're not getting that back at all. And you're not going to be around that much longer. And so she's saying the same thing. They promised to give the community some benefits, because my concern is that the community, people here, I'm from the community. Many people have complained that they cannot afford these luxury apartments. So I want to make sure that the people benefit. So I'm thinking that maybe a community center. They're complaining that they cannot afford them. How is a community center going to help? Did you not hear what they said? Esquire, you're supposed to listen. You're supposed to comprehend well. They said they cannot afford to live here anymore. They feel like they're being pushed out. So how is a community center going to resolve that? And is that all AMS is going to give us? Unreal. Unreal. Rubo's district. Oh yeah, had a. So anyway, folks, I guess I can't get it. I wanted to play it. I wish I could have.
Working with the administration, with the city to resolve all of the traffic issues that we know is going to come as a result of this project and so much more. But I look forward to, how everything unfold. And certainly I'm looking forward to that community benefits plan because I know it's going to be a good thing for the city and for the residents of Yonkers. So I will be supportive tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this item?
No, it's gonna stop soon.
Okay.
It stopped. Well, again, Shanae Williams, she said that she was concerned about the traffic, all the traffic. It's gonna bring a lot of traffic, Shanae. It's gonna be massive amount of traffic. I mean, they're putting over 2,000 parking spaces for the Chicken Island project. The Teutonia is gonna have 900 parking spaces. So it's going to be a lot of traffic, Shanae. And I know you're excited about it, but you don't care because you're just waiting to go over to the county. You're out of here. See you later. Right? Who's going to take over Shanae Williams' place? Will it be Deanna Robinson or will it be Shatika Parker? Shatika Parker is being supported by Christopher Johnson and Corazon Pineda Isaac. I'm hearing that, they are working with each other, working to get signatures for each other. Christopher Johnson, I knew would be supporting Corazon Pineda Isaac, something that, people were talking about. I think I might have even said it to me. Yeah, he did actually at one point when we sat and we spoke. Shatika Parker once worked in County Legislator Christopher Johnson's office. So, of course, naturally, he would be supporting her. And so the three of them will working to get signatures together. The best of luck. I will definitely be out there as well tomorrow. Today, I was just getting some things really just put together at the office because I have to work. I still have, clients to attend to. So I can't just be doing that. But tomorrow, I plan on, really going out there and spending most of the day gathering signatures. People do plan on coming by off to my office. And also, I will be setting up appointments. I can come by and to you. If you can't come to me, just let me know when. Email me at info@freddyformayor.com and let me know when and where, and I will be there. I'd love to speak to you, for a few minutes. Just want to hear what you have to say. What do you think? What are your concerns? What do you think is great? What do you think is not great? What you would like to see? It's very important what you have to say, and I want to hear it. So, but for those who are out and about traveling, stop by 101 Lockwood Avenue and sign the petition. You'll be able to sign between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. at 101 Lockwood. Come by, sign the petition. We need real leadership. It's time for change. Time for change, and Freddie represents change. I'm that guy. I'll be out there, folks. I appreciate you supporting. Yeah, we must unite. Unite people. Unless people unite and get informed, the fabric and history of downtown and West Yonkers in general will be eviscerated. I mean, it's changing so much. That's one of the things for me that just it breaks my heart a bit. So much is changing in Yonkers, right? It's really becoming a place that almost you don't recognize anymore. If you are someone that's been here, most of your life or for a good amount of time, I remember when there were no buildings at the pier. The pier was, open. Everybody would just go on it. There were a lot of homeless people there, crab fishing, right? I remember that. And look, I'm not saying that there isn't some improvements. Obviously we could use the improvements. We could use the developments, but to what extent are we going to develop Yonkers? I mean, at this point, it's just too much. It's just way too much. Way too much. And it's like they're trying to change Yonkers to become, this upscale, high-end, affluent, transit-oriented movie studio, city. Luxury developments overlooking the Hudson River. Right? That's it, and who are these individuals? That's not the city. That's not Yonkers. That's not the people of this city. So when the city council says, oh, yeah, I just want to make sure that they do something for the city and there's a benefit there. What? What benefit are they getting? They're being pushed out. They're being pushed out. They're being priced out. They're not getting anything. You can give them a community center. It's not going to do much. They can't afford to stay anyway and enjoy it. So, it doesn't matter what you try to, or what agreement you make with AMS and the developers. All these luxury developments, that are going up are not for the people of Yonkers. And they're planning on bringing in a lot of people. I mean, if they're going to fill them up, they're going to have to bring in a lot of people from where, right? A lot of people from where. So a lot is going to change here in the city of Yonkers. No longer going to be that Yonkers, that I love, that we all loved. We were the suburb of the city, and now we are essentially the city. We are officially the sixth borough. Some people call it Bronkers. You want to be Bronkers? I don't want to be Bronkers, right? And so it's sad. It's very sad that this is happening here. I want to play John Rubo here. Can I play Rubo? Please let me be able to play Rubo.
Seeing that these votes would become board review this, and with outside counsel on February 24th, 2001, they made a determination, an advisory opinion from the ethics board that there were no violations of the ethics code. So I just want to put that out on the record, and again, just state that I'm very excited to see all of this
Let me take this out of my ears. As you all know, this project is in my district, in the first council district, and I remember, 4 years ago when we, sold Chicken Island to these developers. It was quite exciting because that was $16 million that we needed at the time. We had a tough budget that year, and we know that that space had been neglected for so long.
So they sold it for $16 million. Where did the money go? Does anybody know? What did they actually do with that money? And yes, the place was neglected for so long, but why? Why was it neglected for so long? Why didn't they develop it sooner? Right? I mean, it's like almost they're justifying this overdevelopment and all these luxury developments that they're bringing in that are doing harm really to the city of Yonkers. Maybe the new people that come in will love it. But even some of those people are a little bit now, starting to be concerned with the overdevelopments. But why didn't they do something before? Why didn't they do something sooner? Right? They're saying, oh, well, it's been, in distress for so long. So this is so great that we bring in luxury developments. Well, why was it in distress? Why was it like that for so long? Why couldn't we get something going there years ago? And depending on who you ask, some will say it's because of the corruption, the difficulty in dealing with the city of Yonkers. And that is why businesses don't come to Yonkers. Business owners won't open up in Yonkers because of the corruption and the difficulty it is dealing with the city of Yonkers, as many of us business owners here know. So why didn't they develop it? Why didn't they bring the ballpark? That would have provided jobs. Consistent jobs, consistent revenue coming in. The city could have charged for parking for the people coming in to watch the game. A lot of tax revenue would have came in from that. The concession stands, the ticket prices, parking, right? That would have been a better idea. That's how we have to think. And so I'm not against beautifying, developing Yonkers, right? I'm not against, knocking down certain buildings that need to be knocked down because they're just dilapidated and they're eyesore, and building something, that will improve the community. But I'm also for doing it in a way that truly benefits the community and benefits them for a long period of time, a sustained period of time, right? Nothing quick or no, even just a community center. We need something more than that, right? And that's jobs, bringing in jobs, bringing in projects, bringing in, businesses and companies that will give jobs, building things that will provide jobs and consistent jobs like a ballpark. That's how you do it, so that you don't push the people out. And not only do you not push them out, but you give them opportunities. And not only do you give them opportunities and not push them out, you generate an income for the city. Right? Why didn't the city of Yonkers buy the land where they wanted to place the studios and then lease them to the studio so we could have made that money instead of selling them to Joe Cotter or allowing Joe Cotter to pick them up and then leasing them to Lionsgate? We could have bought the land. We could have had our guys develop or build the studios and then leased it to Lionsgate. And we could have made millions and millions of dollars on leases. But that's just how we have to vote for a government that and officials that truly care about the city, folks. And I'm about to get up out of here. It's almost now. Remember the Spano pipe dream of bringing the New York Jets to Yonkers Raceway? Plans were drawn at one time as they were for the ballpark at Chicken Island. At least kids could have worked as vendors. Yeah, but I think that was a lie. I think that was BS. Just like I think that they sell us these things, right? These ideas, to get us all excited, to get us to support them and support these ideas. And then they do the bait and switch. It seems that seems like that's the pattern, right? They sell you, like, look, even with the Teutonia. It was never supposed to be that tall. There was never supposed to be 906 units. It started out as 3-something. Then it went to 4. Now it's at 9. Right? And the same with other projects. They weren't supposed to go 25-story. Teutonia's 40-story. Right? We didn't expect all this development. And even when they, back years ago when they started to build some of the buildings, the ones that they built early on, they made a promise that they wouldn't go too high. And now that's a done deal. Right? So they lied to us just to, play with us, right? And it's just, I don't know. I don't like that. I'm with you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm with you, folks. Again, I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm the guy that wants to represent the people, not the developers. I'm not looking for their money. I'm not taking any of their contributions. Unlike Corazon Pineda Isaac, unlike Mayor Mike Spano. I'm not going to be beholden to the developers. They are not going to have leverage on me. They are not going to pull my strings. I will represent the people. So I need you to sign my petition. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Check out the page, www.freddieformayor.com. Email me. If you can't make it to 101 Lockwood, Monday through Friday, every day from 9 to 6, then email me. Let me know when and where. I'll be there. I'll make it as easy as possible for you. I'll have a pen and I'll bring you some coffee if you like. We can have a chat. Sit down and have some coffee and have a chat. And let me know. What is it that you want to see happen? What are your concerns? I'm Freddie Vasquez. I am for the people. I hope to see you soon. Teutonia should have been landmarked as, I've heard that. I should have that German Methodist Church on Hudson Street should have been repurposed for the community. Yeah. You're right, but AMS wanted the land. Did you guys see them flying around? They would be, flying around in the planes or helicopters, just surveying Yonkers. Yeah, we're going to buy this. We're going to buy that, and that's all they care about. Nick Spano has contracts with them, right? So he has to do what they say. That's it. That's how he's making his money. He doesn't care about Yonkers. Once it's done, he's out. That's it. They're going to take their millions of dollars and they don't care what happens after that. That's not their concern. So it's up to us. And if you want to make an impact, you want to make a change, and you want to make history, then that's Freddie Vasquez. Thank you. I appreciate it. God bless you too. Have a good night, folks. I appreciate it, Yonkers. I love you. I'm going to replay this tomorrow morning, and I'll be out there. And if you know people that are registered Democrats, send them my way. And remember, you can only sign for one person. So make your signature count. Don't forget, Freddie Vasquez is running for mayor. I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. The place where corruption dies. Truth lives and corruption dies. Hey, backwards. Again, folks, don't forget, tomorrow's another day of petition signing. We need 1,000. I need 1,000 signatures, but I'm trying to get 2,000 signatures. That's very much possible, and I appreciate the people that are supporting. I have people who have pledged their signatures who are coming to see me, or I'm going to see them, but I want to see more and more people. I want to talk to us. Really, I want to talk to you folks. I want to talk to as many people as possible. I want to know what's on your mind. I really want to hear from the people. Freddie Vasquez means a government for the people, by the people. Have a good night, folks. I'm out of here.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins.
Hey, yo, Yonkers Public School, can you share my nonprofit? I mean, we are doing amazing things with the kids. It's amazing how they don't want my nonprofit, right, being put on a flyer with the school logo or whatever, which we weren't selling anything, making no money at all. Yet, other organizations are allowed to do it. And guess which ones? Guess which ones? You should know them by heart by now.
Freddie wins.
No!